Hey, how you doing? Duff here, and just another quick 3D printer update. My CR10, which is sitting dormant right now, has still been printing great. Well, I shouldn't say great. It's printing fine. It's printing like it normally does. The other day, I tried to actually print PetG again. I've tried to print PetG on my Flash Forge Finder and my CR10 multiple times, and I have never been successful. I can get a print started. Like you can see look how shiny this is in the bottom. This is PetG. I guess this was supposed to be a Christmas ornament, but then what happened was I was this far into it, and it popped off the glass, and then messed up the rest of the print. And that's always been my issue with PetG is adhesion. Even on the Finder where I have the blue painter's tape on here, I can't really see it, but I have blue painter's tape on the bed. I've always had issues with PetG lifting off. Same thing in the CR10. Now I don't know that I've tried PetG on the CR10 with a heated bed and tape. Maybe that's the magic sauce to make it work, but I've never ever gotten a complete solid print out of PetG on any of my printers. Which is too bad because I hear a lot of people singing the praises of PetG, and I just have not been able to get anywhere with it. Like I said, maybe the eSun version isn't great, I don't know. But it hasn't been working great for me. So, but other than that, the CR10's been doing fine. So, knock on wood, we're hoping it stays that way. Right now I actually have the Flash Forge Finder and the Neva printing the exact same model. It's almost a race, I guess. They're printing a holder for one of my Echo Dots. I have a bunch of them. I'm not really sure who would win. Probably I would imagine that the Neva's going to win because as much as I like the Finder, I mean it works so well. It's so trouble-free. I think it's clogged once in the, I don't know, 8 months I've had it or whatever. It just works. But the only downside on the Finder that I found is I just always print everything with a raft because I found if I don't, then I do have issues with the print not sticking very well. So I always use a raft with my Finder and I have no problems. But of course it takes longer to create the raft than on the Neva with this like build tack or locked. What's this stuff called? This surface is almost like lock build that they include with the Neva. So I do not print a raft with it, and it seems to adhere just fine. So that's one cool thing about the Neva, and that just gave me an idea of why don't I just buy a piece of lock build and permanently affix it to my Finder bed. I really should do that, shouldn't I? Yeah, maybe I'll do that. But anyways, okay. So anyways, they're both printing the same thing. But then turning my attention to the Neva, this had been frustrating me a lot the last week or so, and it had to do with clogging. It kept clogging, and the extruder would be clicking, and the prints, of course, would look like crap. And I believe 5 times I had to abort the print and then go through the hassle of loading the cleaning G-code into the Neva, and then I flushed it with the cleaning filament, and then would reload my PLA. This is eSun PLA, which I use on my Finder and my CR10 without problem. I would load it, start a print, and it would start out fine, and then again it would start clicking and jamming, and it would appear to have another clog in the head. So I treated it 2 ways. First, I was skeptical because, as I showed in a previous video, I actually removed the extruder motor on the Neva on the side completely when I heard the clicking for the very first time, because I wasn't really sure what it was and I wasn't really sure what I was doing. So I pulled the whole thing off. I put it back together, but I was skeptical if I put it back together 100%. So after all those multiple clogs, I took that front screw off and I verified that everything I took it apart, put the spring back in, made sure everything was aligned right, everything felt correct, which it possibly could, it might have been off a little bit. It's possible because, like I said, I had the whole thing off, and because of the way that thing's designed, when you take all the screws off, the extruder motor is just laying in the bottom, and perhaps I did not have it back together 100%. But I'm confident that I do now. So anyways, what I did is I did that. I messed with the extruder, made sure it looked good. And then I cleared the clog once more. But instead of reloading the PLA, I reloaded, I don't know if you can see this. I loaded the remaining bit of orange, I believe that's Polymaker. Might be Polymax filament, which is, I guess, what they recommend for the Niva. It's what they sell. It's what Dagama sells on their website for the Niva, which, from my research, is supposedly really good stuff. The Polymax PLA is supposed to be really, really good stuff. They advertise it as 9 times stronger than regular PLA, which I guess is cool. But the downside is it's expensive. Where I'm buying eSun PLA for 20 to 25 bucks a roll. It looks like the Polymax stuff is like $45 to $50 a roll. So it's more than double the price. And actually, I think it's only for 750 gram rolls, not even a kilogram. So you're getting less stuff, and it's more than double the price. So, but anyways, I loaded what I had left here. It's a small amount, and I printed a bench sheet out of this stuff, and it turned out fine. Turned out great. Didn't clog. Looked fine. So I'm not 100% sure what to make of that. I mean, there's nothing on the Dagama website that says, okay, well, this is only going to work well if you use Polymax filament or something along those lines, which would be unfortunate, of course. But it did print okay. So now for this print, I started it with again, I left in the orange Polymax, and I'm going to let it run out, and then I'm going to use the filament change option on this thing to finish the print with one of my eSun PLAs. I might use the white or something, and just see what happens. See if it continues to work okay, or if it again clogs and jams. If it clogs and jams, that tells me that, yeah, this thing does not like my eSun PLA. So that will be an interesting experiment. So, but other than that, I mean, now that it's the jamming, at least for now, seems better. The Niva, again, for the money, it's a good deal, $249. I think they're extending that pricing, you know, it's like a Black Friday deal. Who knows, they might continue that pricing indefinitely, I don't know. But my feelings about it are pretty much the same as they were. The gimped version of Cura is annoying. I think it would be great if they had a profile that you could use full Cura with it. I think that would really make a big difference. And if it does turn out that you have to use an expensive PLA filament like Polymax, then that would be a negative as well, in my opinion. And I saw that they actually sell on the Dagama website their recommended version of flexible filament as well, because supposedly this will print flexible as is. So I would like to see that as well, because that's another thing. PetG and flexible filament, I've never had a successful print with either. I've tried flexible on the Finder, I've tried flexible on the CR10, and I tried, it's Ninjaflex. I only have one roll of it, it's Ninjaflex, which, you know, I read ahead of time, supposedly was good. But I've never been successful printing on the CR10, the Finder, or on the Niva. So I'm somewhat curious if I bought the stuff that's recommended off the Dagama site, if it would work. One thing is again, it's expensive. I don't really like the idea of spending 40, 50 bucks just to see if it works, but I might, who knows, we'll see. So anyways, that's my update for now. If you found this video interesting, please take a second to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And that's it. Definitely out.